champion of the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament here in Greenville. The South Carolina Gamecocks hoisting the trophy after a win over the Tennessee Lady Vols, continuing the undefeated run that they've been on since being on this stage this time a year ago. 38 straight victories for South Carolina as the confetti falls inside Bon Secours Wellness Arena, something that they have experienced many times before here on this stage. Steffi Sorensen, Carolyn Peck, Drea Carter, Alyssa Lang here with you as we bring you the celebration here in Greenville. Let's talk about how these ladies got it done. Peck, you were on the call, fresh off of the desk, joining us here now. What stands out? What was the most impressive part about the way they were able to win this game today?
Well, first and foremost, you got to have hats off to Raven Johnson, the freshman that came in and played in place of Kiera Fletcher, who injured her ankle yesterday. She was able to not get panicked, not get rattled, even when Tennessee made their run. Secondly, Zia Cook. Zia Cook has put on a show, and I think, man, if she's not MVP, I don't know, something's wrong. Because the way that she played in this tournament, she has been very focused. And last but not least, yeah, we got Aaliyah Boston, but the bench of Camila Cardoso and how she came in, the presence of 6'7". She had 0 points in the first half, 12 in the second, and also went to work on the glass.
You just talk about South Carolina's depth, right? You lose your point guard that transferred in with all the experience, and you just go to the bench with the McDonald's All-American and a star-studded point guard coming in that came back off of an injury, and she has the confidence to step in. You need Camila Cardoso off of the bench. She steps in. Letitia Amihir's defense off of the bench. I mean, there were so many contributors. This entire tournament, what have we been talking about? South Carolina's weapons, South Carolina's options, South Carolina's athleticism and length on the defensive end. This top to bottom impressive performances.
Don't leave out Bree Hall.
Breezy coming in.
You know what I'm saying?
Bree Beal had 5 assists.
Hey, we don't have enough time to cover how many weapons Dawn Staley has. Coach Peck, how nice of a luxury would have been coaching, and you've got Camila Cardoso in your back pocket. When you need a bucket, you can go to your bench, and you got 6'7". I just think when her and Boston are in there, you can play LA on the wing. You've got Raven Johnson now, and she's become a really good engine for them. She's understanding the pace with which Dawn Staley plays. And then Zia Cook hitting shots. I just thought it was a total, from top to bottom, really complete balance from South Carolina on offense and defense today.
When you have Camila Cardoso,
like in your back pocket, oh, come on,
play
Camila.
spades.
I play blackjack.
I play spades.
You play spades? Yes. You know what it means when you get the big joker?
Yeah.
Camila Cardoso is the big joker.
How do you throw the big joker when you have it?
It's almost like you guys have done that a time or two.
I feel like they have. Like, we got to get it. We got to
get on their level here.
Yeah.
With her, we just saw Dawn Staley celebrating there with her team. Peck, you coached in this league. You know Coach Staley well. How hard is it to do what she has done? 38 straight victories without a loss.
That's extremely hard, especially with the schedule that she has played, both the non-conference and conference games. She had seen every type of defense you can possibly see thrown at you. She has had to play having players that have had some injuries at times through adversity. She's had some players that have lost family members along the way, and still they have been able to persevere. And I think it has been starting with the leadership from Dawn Staley, but also Aaliyah Boston, because these 5 freshmen, they came in together, they have stuck together. They didn't head for the transfer portal, and I think when you see that camaraderie, that chemistry, it just becomes infectious on your team.
And it's so problematic now, and maybe it's not a problem, but everybody now is just kind of 1 foot, 1 in, portal on the roster, and the fact that you've got players 1 through 14 to collectively buy in, really talented players. I mean, these are people who could start anywhere they want, and they're sitting and just watching their teammates. And we talk about South Carolina's bench all the time. It is so hype. They don't care who's out there. They just want to win. This team flat out D&D, do not disturb. Yeah. They want to win a national championship. That's a new word I learned.
Their teammates, the starters, they didn't play in the 4th quarter in Arkansas. They weren't over there chilling. They were supporting their teammates, so excited for their teammates. And you talk about these 5 freshies that are now seniors, not coming in and starting, a lot of those players had to bide their time and wait for their opportunity, and now they are having some. Bree Beal shooting 40% from the three, making these assists, driving and attacking to the basket. She has more confidence now than she ever had in the past 4 seasons on the offensive side of the ball. You just see growth. Letitia Mee here comes in with a knee brace and barely looks like she can get going in her first couple of seasons. What does she do? She works and she waits and she continues to stay the course. This senior class is such a great example of what it means. Aaliyah Boston said the other day, it shows that you can join a team with other stars and you can still have greatness and you can still have success. It's a great testament to what it means to work.
Okay, we talked about 4 of the freshies. Can we just give a shout out to O?
Let's give her a shout out.
Olivia Thompson, have you been at practice?
Yes.
She is the most hyped player to be there all the time.
And started as a walk-on, talk about progression, earned
Shout out
scholarship.
walk-ons.
All of them have gotten better.
All right, let's show you exactly how South Carolina got it done today, taking on Tennessee. Championship here on the line. Late first quarter, Bree Beal gonna find Aaliyah Boston in the paint for the layup.
South Carolina established Aaliyah Boston from the start. Look, you go to your leader to set the tone, then everybody else will follow suit.
4.5 seconds left in this quarter. Tennessee driving. Jordan Horston.
Jordan Horston had her Superman cape on for Tennessee in that first half. I mean, this shot, she was trying to keep Tennessee in it.
Right at the buzzer. Tennessee trailing by 2 at this point as we pick it back up. Middle of the second quarter. South Carolina going on a run here. LA driving, finding Zia Cook wide open.
This is the togetherness and the offensive efficiency that when you talk about South Carolina being a better team than the one that won the national championship last year, it's on the offensive side. They've got so many weapons, play with confidence, and again, give Jordan Horston and Markia Jackson a ton of credit for Tennessee. They bowed up, they fought. I thought Jillian Hollyshove was a huge piece as well.
Next minute, Horston, this time on the fast break layup. Tennessee down just 6 at this point. Peck, what was going through your mind?
Well, I thought that Tennessee was about to make their run the same way they did yesterday against LSU.
Third quarter, Cook, layup off the glass, extending South Carolina's lead, but the next play, Rakia Jackson knows she's got to come up with something for her team, and she's going to nail a 3-point shot here.
Hey, Rakia Jackson, if you didn't know, that's a pro right there. I mean, she's got so many skills to her name.
Next minute, Raven Johnson inbounds, Cook in the paint.
It's almost like somebody in our late night show just last night said,
Who was that? Who was that, Dre?
It's almost like someone said Zia Cook was due for a big game. 24 big points from one.
South Carolina leading by 10 after this one. 2 minutes left now in this quarter. It's going to be Bree Hall. You guys wanted to give Bree some credit. Let's do it.
You got to give Bree Hall. That's the future of South Carolina right there.
Held that follow through, too. Look at her smile. Look at the big smile. Special.
Fourth quarter now. Tennessee hadn't scored in 4 minutes. Jordan Horston once again trying to make something happen here with an in the paint Jay.
Well, give Tennessee credit. I mean, they hung tough with South Carolina on the glass. I think it was just a matter of just not making enough shots, and then the depth of South Carolina. And then when Zia Cook is cooking, she was on simmer in the first quarter. She turned it up hot in the third.
3 for Zia, and South Carolina gets the win. 74-58, the final over Tennessee. Hoist that trophy, ladies. You're champions here at the 2023 SEC tournament, and doing it again in dominating fashion. Look at the numbers on Zia Cook. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. Aaliyah Boston adding another 18 and 7 boards in this one. Aaliyah Boston joined Holly Rowe after the game.
You were huge today, particularly in the second half. What's your mindset in this moment?
I'm happy. I'm extremely proud of our team and everything we've been doing. And we're not done yet. We still got work to do.
I know the playing time hasn't been there for you, but you practiced so hard. They need you so much. What is this moment for you?
I mean, it's just so special that we've all stuck together and done this like all 4 years. It's amazing to be a part of.
Only 8 losses in this history of this class. How have you done it and been there for each other, Bree?
I mean, it just explains how we play together. Our chemistry is out of this world. I mean, look at us.
It's a parade. It's okay, Coach said you're going to enjoy it now, but I know you are so focused on what is still ahead. When do you turn that page and start to think about what's at stake moving forward?
I mean, we want to win a national championship. And that's what we want to do, and we're going to do it.
All right, Greenville is the site of the Sweet 16. What do you say if you all are back here in just a couple of weeks?
Yep, sounds good to me.
That'll do it. Yeah. And that'll do it for us.
That will do it. How about the dance? the band. She does it all, and she is once again a champion. She's going to join us right here on the set coming up after this. We're live from Greenville, crowning a new tournament champion, South Carolina, back on top. Welcome back to Greenville. Aaliyah Boston with the biggest smile on her face because, of course, she's holding yet another SEC tournament trophy. She had another big day, 18 points, 7 rebounds in the Gamecocks win over Tennessee. And now South Carolina has won 7 of the last 9 SEC tournament titles. That breaks a tie with Vanderbilt for second most tournament championships. Only Tennessee has more, and the Lady Vols haven't won a title since the Gamecocks won their first SEC tournament. Joining us now, the head coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks, Dawn Staley. You've been dancing, you've been directing the band, you've been celebrating, Coach, but let's talk about this game. What does it mean for not only this team, but this senior class to go out of the SEC tournament this way?
Well, this senior class especially. I mean, they just set the example of how the standards of our program. I mean, they took it to another level. We have high standards, but they took it to another level because they're low maintenance, high performing. They only add things to their life that can help them. And everything else is just, and we have to wait until we get in our 40s and 50s to really realize what is good for us. They got it at a very young age, so I want them to win every championship, every game that they're going to play for the rest of their careers here at South Carolina.
I'm watching this game, Don, and really the entire tournament, and how much Aaliyah Boston is communicating with everybody in the huddles, in the timeouts, her big smile. How crucial of a piece is she to the success and the growth of that group of freshies and the team?
Yeah, I mean, Aaliyah, if you just watch her, if you're a basketball enthusiast, you can see, you know, the numbers are down from last year, but, you know, the numbers last year, they weren't staggering. But all the other things that she brings to the table that you really have to watch and see, you can switch and you can put on a guard. I mean, she had the guard Rakia for most of the night, and it's not bad. But you know, if it's anybody else, Rakia's probably got 30, 35, 40 points. But Aaliyah uses her body. She communicates switches. She is the tangible, intangible college basketball player of the year.
Everybody talks about, Dawn, your starters. You are a man down today with Kiera Fletcher. How key is it, the bench players that you have to come in to contribute to your success?
I mean, it's been developing all season long. Like, we were unafraid to play them. We were unafraid to sub 5 in and 5 out because they practice at a high level. And sometimes when you do that, when you put them out on the floor, they may not execute like you want. But come tournament time, like SEC tournament time, you'll see players rise to the challenge like LA did. Raven stepped in and played great. Like, they are comforted in knowing that if they're having a bad night, you got that senior class and you got those grad, those grad students. They're just telling them what needs to happen, and they just flip the switch and get right in the synergy that we need to win basketball games.
Well, Don, I want to talk about Bree Beal because, we talk so much about her defense, her growth, her progress, the way that she's shooting the ball from the three-point line. Her assists, she had 6 assists. Last year, she only had 47. This year, she's already got 85. Can you speak to her growth, maybe all around as a complete basketball player?
Here's what Bree Beal did. As a freshman, we just solely relied on her to be a defensive player. Just stop. And then as the seasons go on, she make us put her in a position to be a point forward because she makes good decisions. Okay, she's finding spots in which hey, she can score. Like, she got the most points in the state of Illinois, more than Candace Parker. Like, she can score the basketball, but she's smart enough to not disrupt what we're doing. She knows how to impact it in what we're doing as a system, and that is something for some of the young players to really understand. If the system doesn't you don't think it works for you, find a way how you work the system, and that's in life. That's in life.
That's real talk.
Talking about how rare is that to find?
It's rare.
Yeah.
It's rare. And I say this. wholeheartedly to the young coaches that are out there. Find some players that respect their parents. Find some players that respect their parents. We got a whole team full of them, and that way you can go to the parents. Their kids acting up. Hey, this is what's happening over here. Don't let her tell you otherwise.
Right.
But we have that. We have that. Their parents were very instrumental in them coming to South Carolina. They believe in it. When they're instrumental in that, if anything goes wrong, the communication line is already established, and then we can agree to disagree agreeably.
Right.
You talked, Coach, about Bree. You talk about the senior class. We want to go back and show everybody part of some of the letters that they wrote reflecting on their careers here as now they're SEC tournament champions.
Your questions. I could start us off by saying it felt just like yesterday that we stepped on this campus. Thank God for blessing me with teammates, sisters, who challenged me to find my purpose and why I belong.
You have all helped me to realize that my purpose is greater than my presence.
Coach Staley, man, I'm really gonna miss being coached by you. You are literally the realest and coolest coach in the game. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your history. This journey has been truly amazing. Lev, Tish, Zaya, and Bree. You are my sisters for life, and I'm thankful to God for bringing us all together. We will always have a special group, and I continue to pray for everyone's success.
Coach, we can see the emotion on your face.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, they committed to each other. The sacrifice, all of them sacrificed. Like, you know, people don't even think Aaliyah has to sacrifice. Aaliyah is sacrificing in the stat line, on the stat line. Greenville has sacrificed for 2 of the 4 years that she's been here. Even Zaya came in wanting the same things that Aaliyah has accomplished. National Player of the Year, All-American, Liv wanted a scholarship, you know, and she got one after her freshman year. LA, same thing. LA could be starting for any other program and doing extremely well. But they committed to South Carolina, they committed to each other. And when that bond is so strong, even if any of them, I'm sure they had talks of I'm leaving, you know, I'm transferring. I'm sure they're young, they're kids. But the pull on each other's heart to have a void of the 5 was enough to keep them there, to have them fighting through, and that's what I love about them. They're lovers, they're fighters, they're loyal, and they're winners.
Coach, you know, I have to go back to the Freshies class their freshman year when they had Kiki Herbert-Harrigan and Ty Harris leading the way, and Ty mentored Zaya, and Kiki bowed up for Aaliyah.
Mad Kiki.
Mad Kiki. How much did those two imprint on this group that you have when they were freshmen?
It was the perfect mix. You know, it was the perfect. It allowed Ty and Kiki to be who they wanted to be, which was they wanted to be the leaders. They wanted to be their turn to shine, like Asia Wilson had their chance to shine. And then, you know, there was a threat of these 5 freshmen coming in, the #1 class in the country, taking their shine. There's a threat of that, but those freshmen came in like, whatever y'all want. Like, Ty and Kiki couldn't even really get mad at them because they're like, okay, what do you want me to do? Just tell me what you want me to do. We just came here to win. And then it just formed this incredible bond with all of them, that they allowed Ty and Kiki to be the leaders and the stars, and then they just fell back and did what they needed to do, and it was the perfect combination.
Well, Coach, it's been amazing to watch you coach these young women. We have enjoyed watching all of you win as much as you have this season. I think it's your turn to go cut down the net, so we're going to let her go. Her 7th SEC tournament title, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We've got more coming your way from here in Greenville. The confetti is still falling over the victorious South Carolina Gamecocks. Dawn Staley cutting down the nets in this tournament for the 7th time. And I feel like, guys, we have to make it known that Meek Mill was playing in the background for our Philly girl.
What else would be playing for Dawn Staley?
Old Sandstorm with the net. Carolyn, what does it mean to you to see Dawn with another net in her hands?
When you look at what Dawn Staley has built at South Carolina, the accomplishments, and she ain't done.
She is not done. 32-0 on the season. Haven't lost a game since being on this stage 1 year ago, but this team is still chasing perfection.
We're going into postseason as a unified group that is singly focused on winning every basketball game that we suit up for.
Chasing a perfect season means the world. It would be something truly special. We got to do it.
We all came here to create history. Since we've been here, we've been able to do that.
Chasing a perfect season means we finish as one of the most historic teams in South Carolina history.
Well, the Gamecocks have a chance to be the 10th Division I women's team to finish undefeated. Tennessee's the only SEC team to run the table, finishing 39-0 back in 1998. South Carolina's looking to become the 4th different school to also win back-to-back titles, joining Tennessee, UConn, and Southern Cal. All right, we got to turn our attention now to the next one, the NCAA tournament coming up here over the next few weeks. And you know, as sweet as this is for this team, they want another national championship, and they want to say that they went back-to-back. Steffi, I'll start with you. Can anyone beat this team? Can they go undefeated the rest of the month?
Well, I mean, geez, the way that some of these conference tournaments have gone down, you see that there's other teams that they've got some vulnerabilities. I think South Carolina at times has shown vulnerabilities, but they've won. So I like South Carolina against the field. I mean, they've just been dominant. I think that they can win in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. I know you like numbers, Peck.
There you go.
I think that they can win any style, and it's just going to take a team being, playing its absolute best, and South Carolina playing its absolute worst.
Here's the thing, the reason that I think South Carolina, they have to go undefeated to win a national championship at this point now, because it's win or go home. But the thing that South Carolina has been able to do night in and night out is they're going to bring the defense.
Yeah.
Defense has traveled everywhere South Carolina has gone. There's only been one team that has out-rebounded them. So even on an off-shooting night, South Carolina has been able to get those second-chance opportunities and stop teams they play against. If they can contribute, if they continue that with consistency throughout, yeah, my money's on South Carolina to repeat as national champions.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when South Carolina is playing their best basketball, or even when South Carolina is playing quality basketball for their standards, they cannot be beat. They have too many. I mean, I've talked about it with Rebecca Lobo on multiple studio shows. Athleticism, experience, size, mobility, inside play, outside play, defense, offense. There aren't teams, like teams might have some experience.
And depth.
And depth. And that's the piece. There's no team in the nation that has all of those components. You might find 2 or 3. A team that can shoot some threes and maybe has defense, but they've never won a national championship, so they don't have that experience. You might have a team that's won a national championship, but they don't have size or depth or athleticism. I'm literally thinking of teams in my head, comparing them to South Carolina. They don't match up. South Carolina would have to slip. It's theirs to lose because I don't think they can be beat at their best.
I think that Stanford is similar to South Carolina, and they took them to overtime earlier this year. They have Cameron Brink inside, Haley Jones outside. They've got Lauren Betts, the freshman, who is 6'7", that I think is the future Camila Cardoso as she gets that experience. And then Connecticut is another team.
Let's talk Connecticut, yeah.
You know, AZ Fudd is back.
Yeah, AZ Fudd, Dorka Juhas, she's back. I think Connecticut finally being healthy is different. I mean, they're a scary team. If they can all collectively get back in sync in a hurry, this could be a different Connecticut team. And they played South Carolina well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Steffi, you've talked about some vulnerabilities that teams have shown. I've seen some vulnerabilities from everybody in the nation. That's what's made this season be so much fun, and it's been so much fun to watch. And when you think about teams that just have been tested and that have passed every single test and having a full team that has withstood an entire season, it's so hard to do that. South Carolina's been able to.
Think about where y'all were at last time for game day, the Iowa-Indiana matchup. Everybody was talking about Indiana and then Iowa at the buzzer. I mean, the season has just unbelievable. I think that's why you have to respect the consistency that South Carolina has been able to put forth by not losing a game.
Well, and I think that Iowa is a team, because of the ability and the way that they shot the ball against Indiana to make enough threes. But the key to Iowa is not Caitlin Clark. It's Monica Zanano. She has got to have a presence and be able to produce inside for Iowa to be put in that position to cut down nets.
Well, think of the 3 teams that we just mentioned, if that are probably going to have a high chance of contending. Iowa, Stanford, and UConn. They all can knock down threes. That's a huge key.
All right, that's it for the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament here in 2023. We have a champion in the building. South Carolina, once again, their 7th SEC Tournament title, and what a week it's been. Can they go on and win a national championship over the coming weeks? It is certainly the next goal on their list, but what incredible basketball that we have seen all week long. Starting back on Wednesday, on day 1 of this tournament, competition just gets better and better here in the SEC, but the Gamecocks are on top.